The UN General Assembly kicked off a marathon week of diplomacy with a summit for the future.
I called for this summit because our world is heading off the rails and we need tough decisions to get back on track.
The signature event adopted by consensus a wide-ranging pact for the future, a blueprint aimed at ensuring that international institutions can deliver in a world that has changed dramatically since they were created in 1945. Russia, which raised numerous objections to elements of the pact as the months-long negotiations were wrapping up last week, sought to amend the document moments before its adoption, but failed. The pact has lofty goals for eradicating poverty, ending hunger, and building peaceful and inclusive societies. It also seeks to bridge the digital divide. Now the hard work of implementing it begins.
But our people know instinctively that this will only be talk unless there's a fundamental change in what we do and how we do it, and who is seen and heard in the corridors of decision-making.
Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, and I want to do a quick update about a document that got passed by the United Nations this weekend called the Pact of the Future document. It's two parts, one on science and technology and one about the youth and future generations. It is quite egregious, and it was done by a procedure called the silence procedure, which makes it a pact. And if no one objected, it is automatically adopted and put into the record as being completely adopted. This is the World Health Organization's runaround, or end around. Since they were not able to get the World Health Organization treaty passed, they decided to take it to the General Assembly. And it is even more egregious than what the World Health Organization was wanting to get passed. Let me just read you something really quickly about what is inside of this pact that is now being accepted by 193 nations around the world and equally open-armed accepted by our current administration. Everyone, it says that this is the power structure, fully digital and maximized for the control of the masses. Everyone will be expected to have a biometric digital ID that marks them not just as citizens of an individual country, but as a global citizen. So anytime you hear global citizen or anytime you hear sustainability, think that this is an egregious thing that's happening at the level of the World Health Organization and the United Nations. Anyone that has a dissonant opinion will be labeled as misinformation, disinformation, or malinformation and memory hold. Perpetrators for unapproved information will be fact-checked and punished by the system, which will be operated and enforced by artificial intelligence. Punishments will include being locked out of one's bank account, being unable to make certain purchases, unable to get on an airplane, on a subway, drive on public roads. This is the future, according to the world's self-appointed overlords at the United Nations. These are unelected bureaucrats that are making decisions about our country, our sovereignty around the world. Nothing could be more important at this point in time than to get prepared. Have water, food, digital access, flashlights, a way to communicate with family and friends. Now is really the time to get involved and get prepared, because this is what's coming. Our Congress is sitting on its hands. There was a press conference on the 17th about this, and no further action has been taken. So it's up to us to mobilize and to go forward, particularly with your local sheriffs, to get your constitutional sheriffs to say, this isn't going to be allowed in my county. Thank you very much. Take action. We've been talking about the onset of one world order, one world government, one world religion, one world money for a long time. Well, it's no longer coming. It's here.
This is Daniel's 8:25. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. Shalom, Kahala Yahweh, Bashem Yoshai, Bashem Rakok Radash. Double honors my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect, where the house of David be born again in this generation. Shalom to the 130 Yasharallah, who today are known as the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who before losing our true heritage, we were known as, and still are, the true Hebrew Israelites of the Holy Bible. In today's lesson, we're going to get into the details of what just passed over at the UN Assembly this weekend, referred to as the UN Meeting of the Future, I believe is what they referred to it as. Well, in that meeting, not only did they go over things like the new digital internet system that they're going to bring forth after they collapse the internet and cause some sort of digital false flag where they're going to take everything down, and then they're going to say that they have to cleanse it before they bring it back up. Mark my words, they're going to do that. Next, they also got into the futures, the pact for the futures. And what is this pact for the futures? Well, that lady basically broke it down. She showed how they pretty much pushed it through that silent practice, right? So now all these countries are accepting this new policy change by de facto, okay? And what is that system that they talked about, the Pact for the Future? Well, that is the UN beast system that is talking about being implemented, okay? Without a biometric microchip, which is the mark of the beast, that is what these devils want to put in your hands or in your forehead. It's the same thing that it warned us about right here. This is Revelations 13 and 16. And he calls us all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark of the name, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. This is where 666 comes from. Now, like I said in many previous videos, that for some reason these devils were going to bring forward a digital currency system, a cashless type system, and then through some false flag attack or some false flag events, they were going to let people commit a bunch of fraud to the point where they were going to justify the needing of a biometric chip to be implanted into you. And who knows, they might still do that, but ultimately, as you can see, that Antonio Gutierrez devil, he said that they had to basically speed up their agenda. Okay, this what is it? SDG, Sustainable Development Goals. That was originally the Agenda 2030, which originally was Agenda 2050. But these devils, knowing that they have a little bit of time, because they know that the Messiah is on his way back. They know that he's already in the solar system. They've already tracked these things that they're referring to as asteroids, and they know that there's chariots out there. But what they're not letting you know is that they know this. Okay, and what are they doing instead? Well, their actions are revealing, right? They're rushing through their plans, and in this case, they're bringing forward the beast system, which this mark of the beast is going to work within. Okay, so pretty soon they're going to start pushing this biometric ID out to a lot of their member countries, right? They say 193 countries, but I believe there's like 197 countries that the UN recognizes. But the whole point being is that this is it, Akim. We're here. We are in the New World Order. They have brought it forth, and it's been established, and now they're simply just polishing it up and pushing forward the agendas for the New World Order, which eventually they believe people will just get in line with, right? Right now they believe they're just taking care of the outliers, the people who are causing problems. But they don't realize that this is going to lead to civil unrest. Let's go read this article from Al Jazeera. It says, what's the UN new pact for the future, and why did Russia oppose it? Like many UN documents, it's packed with big goals, but is short on specifics about how to achieve them, and its passage snubbed Moscow. It says, the United Nations General Assembly has adopted an ambitious pact that aims to make the organization more relevant and effective on the global stage in the 21st century amid the mounting criticism over its failures to stop wars and hold to account those who violate their charter. And they're ultimately talking about the Israelis and how the Israelis aren't basically listening to them while they commit that genocide over there in Gaza, and now while they're reaching out to commit genocide in Lebanon. It says, Russia and Iran were among 7 nations to oppose the pact for the future, but they failed to prevent the documents from proceeding during the summit that ran on Sunday and Monday. And of course they didn't, because this is the agenda of the world leaders, okay? And it doesn't matter if these other nations oppose it, because again, the kings of the world right now, these Edomites, right, they are trying to push their agenda, which is to microchip everybody, to get that spiritual ownership over everybody, and hence receive back their birthright that they rightfully sold to our forefathers. Now, that ain't gonna happen, but at least these devils are at least gonna try. Let's continue. It says, let's take a look at the entire peace, the Central Peace document of the annual gathering in New York. The lofty goals it aims to achieve for a global community, and why Russia argued no one is fully satisfied with the text. What's the pact for the future? The UN describes the pact as a landmark declaration pledging actions towards an improved world for tomorrow's generations. The lengthy text adopted by the 193-member United Nations General Assembly includes a pledge to move faster towards achieving the UN Sustainable Development Goals and the Paris Agreement commitments on climate change. It speaks of addressing the root causes of conflicts and accelerating commitments on human rights, including women's rights. And all this bullshit right here is just the cherry on top. They're pushing these things to make it seem like it's a good thing, right? They don't mention the mandatory biometric IDs that they're going to require, right? That's the real goal of these devils with this law. It includes 2 annex documents, including the Global Digital Impact, right, which is the guidelines on how they're going to run the new social credit online digital system, just like they have in China, dealing with regulating artificial intelligence, and the Declaration on Future Generations, which pushes for national and international decision-making to focus on securing the well-beings of generations to come. And these devils, they know that this is an easy way for them to push forward their agenda by using specious reasoning, right? Who says they're the ones that should be deciding what the future generations are going to strive for, right? See, these devils are trying to paint themselves as the good guys, all while committing these horrible acts. It says, we are here to bring multilateralism back from the brink, Secretary General Antonio Guterres told world leaders gathered at the UN headquarters on Sunday. Now it is our common destiny to walk through it. What that demands, not just agreement, but action, right? See, because they want everybody to take that chip. They want everybody to start implementing it. Because people are starting to wake up to what they're doing, because they're trying to move too fast to fulfill their agenda before the Messiah shows up. It says, the pact covers a range of topics from differing levels of ambition, and different UN forums and agencies will be responsible for following up on different topics, according to Richard Gowan, UN Director at the Crisis Group. Some of the proposals are quite specific, like a request for the Secretary General to review the state of the UN peacekeeping operations. Others, such as a promise to work together towards nuclear disarmament, are sadly more rhetorical, flourishes that concrete proposals he told Al Jazeera. Nonetheless, it is important that the UN members work out a proper implementation plan for the actionable parts of the pact, as we have often seen world leaders sign off on fine sounding pledges at the UN and then fail to follow through on them. It says, does the pact spell out how it'll make the world better? Not really. As is often the case with the UN resolutions and pledges, the Pact for the Future is packed with lofty goals and commitments, but is thin on actual realistic steps that the body can take to implement its own vision. It says, and that's pretty much it, okay? But the gist of it is that these devils are trying to implement and push forward the beast system that is needed, so that way when they bring out these biometric implantable RFID chips, that system that those chips are going to work within is already set up. This is 1 Thessalonians 5:3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. You see, these devils understand that they got a short time. This is why they're moving so fast. And when they are going to eventually declare peace and safety for all the, for following their agenda, for cooperating with them, that's when those who are the people that are going to sign in with these people are going to be held in derision, like the Bible tells us, right? Because what's going to happen is, just like these snake bites, when they pushed it out, yet a lot of people ignorantly believed that it was their best option to go forward with it. Now that it's being revealed how it was a big trap, there's a lot more people who are not willing to do this, and this is why these devils had to push forward this action to force the countries to implement the actions in this pact. And again, what are those actions? It's to bring forward the beast system, and the system which these RFID implantable microchips are going to work in. This is Daniel's 12:10. Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. So that's what's going on, Akim. While they're over here distracting you with P. Diddy, bottles of lubes, and dildos, these devils are over here trying to push forward the MOTB agenda. They're trying to bring forward their New World Order. But again, I just wanted to share this video showing you that though these devils are waging multiple wars on different fronts, and they're bringing forward all this distraction news, that they're still moving forward with their agenda to bring forward the MOTB. So that being said, we have to be careful. We have to keep watching and just make sure to keep an eye out for these devils' wicked tricks. So either way, hopefully this video was edifying. Until next time, I want to give all honor and glory and praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakokodash. Shalom.